Whoa! Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
It's Jeff and Jeremy here online at KZOZ.com. It's 9 minutes after 8 o'clock. We've got one of our big friends on from the Woods Humane Society and ready to talk our adopted pet of the week. It's Robin. Hey, Robin, how you doing?
Good morning. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you as well. I know you guys have a lot going on. Giving Tuesday, is that this upcoming Tuesday already?
No.
So it was this week. So we'll take donations any time of the year. Don't get me wrong, but it was this last Tuesday.
It was December.
We did great.
December 1st.
Yes.
It's
Tuesday. It's always
you missed it.
It's always the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. That's why it's Giving Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess I don't give enough on Tuesdays.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, Robin. You have to realize, I mean, the year we're in right now, how many people listening to this conversation right now as we speak even realize that today is actually Friday? Like, some people might think that today is Tuesday, and at that point, we just roll with it. It's like Black Friday has been going on for a month, is continuing to go on still right now. So it's been like 3 weeks of Fridays.
Yes, everything has been extended.
Yeah, everything's extended. So we'll just roll with that. How are the donations coming in? Are things looking good? Or
we did good. I mean, we did great for Giving Tuesday. We exceeded our goal. We had donor matches step up. It was amazing. It doesn't make up, unfortunately, for the horrible year with all of our events and fundraising and just having to change everything we do on a daily basis. But we will take every dollar we can get and put it to great use for the cats and dogs at Woods. And the staff and volunteers want to give a big thank you to this community, whether it's adopting or taking a chance on an animal, sharing our posts, or giving those donations. They really step up for Woods, and we are just so grateful for this community.
Now, a lot of talk about how things are going to change on many levels across the board with impending, I guess, another. What is it? What's lower than purple? What goes lower than purple?
Stay-at-home orders.
Stay-at-home
orders.
It's just not.
I think that's what we just got yesterday.
It's
wasn't
not
it?
even a color. Well, he said there's a good chance that next week that's going to happen.
Not official. Not
official yet. But so. Does that change anything for you guys, or you guys have been kind of operating under these guidelines from the get-go, right?
Yeah, we kind of figured it out pretty quickly in the beginning, and we found something that works for staff, public, and the animals, and so we're still doing adoptions by appointments, and that way we can control the amount of people are coming through the doors and, have one person in the cattery, one person meeting a dog outside, volunteer helping in surgery and keeping everybody safe. So we're going to still continue to do what we do. Our numbers are lower than they would normally be. We have less staff working. We have less animals coming in at times. And so we're just figuring out the flow. Right now we don't have a lot of animals to choose from, but we do have a handful of cats, a handful of dogs that definitely still need a home. So just appointments are really the way to go right now.
One of my favorite things to do around the holidays for the past decade was to come out to Woods and get my picture with my dog and Santa.
Oh.
And I obviously that's not going to be able to happen this year, but I know you guys are doing something else.
Yeah, well, we're always trying to think of something fun and creative and keep people in animal-loving moods. So our Humane Education Department has come up with a little holiday little camp box. And so I know every parent out there with kids are trying to figure out things for them to do and keep them busy, especially during this December month. And so our Humane Education has came up with a cute little pet and craft box. It's a camp in a box. It's only $30, and they'll send out a box, and there's daily Zoom pet visits, a couple crafts a day, and we'll send everything out to the camper. So let's do it. Sign up on our website and find some little activities for your kids, and they get a little sneak peek tours of Woods and some of our animals. It's pretty cute.
So you get dogs to sit in front of the camera? Because I can't get my dog to sit in front of my phone to do FaceTime. He never looks at it. I'm like, hey, it's right here. It's right here.
We try our best. We know how to adapt.
That's what we all are having to deal with right now, with the adaptation of everything. And
I know. Sometimes
kids,
we have the most wonderful ideas, and the animals just are not into it.
The kids are thirsty for stuff right now. So, I mean, anything. I mean, You know, if you could just even have a dog flash in front of the screen that wants to, and you tell the kids that, hey, that dog's, into you right now. That's probably sufficient enough.
Like Roxanne, I'm looking at your adopted pet of the week. It looks like she's a beautiful German Shepherd, right?
She's beautiful. She's a big dog, a beautiful dog. She's very striking, big, fluffy coat. And German Shepherds already have a big coat, but she's like extra fluffy. So she's beautiful, and she's got a bit of a sad story. Her owner passed away, and she was really used to being with her owner at all times. So she is having a bit of a hard time at Woods in the shelter. So we're trying to keep her busy, keep her with us as much as possible, but it's just not the same as a home.
Very nice. Go to woodshumane.org. You can see Roxanne. You can check out all the different fun things they're doing for the holidays, like Holidays and more. Robin, it's always great talking to you. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
You too. Stay out of trouble, guys.
All right, we'll try. All right, so, I saw this story and I didn't think there was much to it because, number one, I think it's a copycat monolith. Number two...
It's totally a copycat monolith. Okay, listen, what made monolith in desert so intriguing was the fact that it was monolith in desert, okay? It was not monolith in a habited area.
Right. Trisha, who is our resident photographer, you see a lot of her photos on the news. She listens and follows us. She posted something of a picture, of course, because that's what she does. She's a great photographer. She posted the monolith up on, Cameron knows more about that. Is it Mount Pine or Pine Mountain?
Yeah, it was on Mountain Pine in Tascadero.
Okay, so
I think it's Pine Mountain, guys.
It's Pine Mountain, yeah. And you look at the monolith; it looks different. It looks smaller than the monolith we saw in Utah. Just like the one in Romania that we had put up last week was looking different. It looked different. Had a bunch of scratches on it. The aluminum was different. So obviously these are different monoliths. I'm telling you, I think my theory is right. This is like some sort of group that is just going around and they're putting these up to get attention.
But don't you believe that possibly, there's so much credibility to the one that was in the desert. It was in the middle of nowhere where people don't go.
Right.
Whereas in Romania, underneath power lines, there's civilization there. In Atascadero, on top of Pine Mountain, even though it was on top of Pine Mountain, still.
I've never been up there. Have you?
No. Right near civilization, though. It's in Atascadero.
Yeah, I can see Atascadero right down below from this photo.
A town of 25,000 people.
But anyways, I'm glad that she shared it with us. And, but didn't really think much about it. She was like, hey, did you hear about this? And like, yeah, I saw that. It's pretty funny. And then, was it on the news last night that this thing somebody took it back? What's the story, Cameron?
So it appears that someone came in the middle of the night last night and knocked the thing down. So it seems like 4 kids came down from,
how do you know they were kids?
They drove 5 hours to get here, so I'm assuming from L.A.
That's what Scott said in the news, yeah.
Okay.
And they replaced it with a cross?
Yeah, they replaced it with a big wooden cross, and they were saying things like, Christ is king in this country. We don't want illegal aliens from Mexico or outer space, so let's tear this bitch down.
Well, at least they're against all illegal aliens, whether they're from another country or from outer space. Right. So, it's good to be consistent. Did they take the monolith with them, or did they leave it there?
No, they knocked it down the mountain. They tore it down, and they threw it down the mountain.
Okay, my question is, let's be efficient here. People that want to, tear other people's work down.
Have we thought that maybe the monolith is religious in some aspect?
I don't know.
Maybe it's Scientologist.
Well, it is nearby, right? What you could have done was you could have just taken another monolith and attached it about, I would say, a third of the way up, maybe even 3/4 of the way up, and then just put it at an opposite direction, and then you wouldn't have had to knock one down and push it down a hill. You could have just turned. You could have done. This is what Jeremy would have done if he was a soldier for Christianity. He would have taken somebody else's work and made it his own.
Get the monolith from Romania and put in the form of a cross.
No,
Or a monolith of his own.
I don't do this all the time. I only do it at certain occasions when
Jeremy's
I know I'm gonna win.
even better yet. I mean, hell, who would have known the difference? Sorry, I just shouldn't say hell because I know there's a cross in there now. But who would have known the difference? You could have taken one of your boxes that you got from Amazon that something long came in, like a fishing pole box.
Sure.
Wrapped it in aluminum foil.
Yeah.
And attached it to the existing monolith, and it would have taken on the semblance of the other monolith, and you wouldn't have to. I mean, that would weigh what, a pound at tops?
Did you see the Bigfoot video? Bigfoot carrying the monolith in the woods.
I believe this is all a
It
diversion.
was the fourth monolith. It was a guy in a costume.
I think this is all just people creating diversions to get you to not pay attention to other bigger pressing issues in the world and in the United States.
It's just enough to be curious. I'm just enough to be curious about it. But now that it was here, and I guess it's got some national news. I saw on Facebook, Fox News shared the photo, or
I'll tell you what,
talked about the fact that Atascadero had a monolith.
Who's the winner in this one? City of Atascadero, because that shot of the monolith with the city lights underneath it makes that place look like a beautiful place that you would want to live. And I'm saying it is a beautiful place that I'd want to live anyways, but I'm just saying that is a very picturesque picture that you see of the monolith at, sunset or a little after sunset, and the lights of Atascadero illuminating underneath it. That is beautiful.
So
some people thought maybe Jesus cares more about crosses than monoliths.
Possible. It's possible. Who knows?
Wouldn't that make more sense that Jesus would care more about crosses than monoliths?
Heather Moreno, she's a mayor in Atascadero.
What did she say?
She expressed frustration. She said, "We are upset that these young men felt the need to drive 5 hours to come into our community and vandalize the monolith. The monolith was something unique and fun in an otherwise stressful time." Yes, absolutely.
I mean, they took this whole kind of fun situation and now they've politicized it.
Well, this is what I don't understand. Okay, I mean, come on, live by your creed, WWJD. I mean, you think Jesus is going to go up there and push somebody else's work down the hill and replace it with the cross?
He would be very disappointed.
WWJD. He would be disappointed in this one.
He'd be very disappointed.
Well, who makes them the judge and the jury on this one? But it is kind of cool to have a cross. I guess. Are they going to remove the cross now? I mean, what are they going to do?
I kind of hope so. I hope they remove the
Why?
cross.
Did they really choose the best place to put the monolith? Don't you think you should have went on Madonna Mountain up there by the Christmas tree?
Oh, that would have been sick.
Or maybe the whole point was that was more the obvious place to go. Or what's the mountain right there at Montanadero that you hike up to? Do you remember the name of that one?
Yeah, but that's a hike, man.
It is a hike.
This is
Shows you got some passion.
Pine Mountain's much easier.
We'll be playing any song you want to hear for a donation. It's a $20 donation. We're helping out the folks with Slow Fire. It's the Benevolent Association, which I had to what?
Good job on saying it. You said it right.
Benevolent? Yeah, of course I did. What do you act like I'm a rookie or something?
But I saw, I heard the hesitation. You're like,
I don't know why I look at this and I'm very intimidated by the word benevolent.
Yeah, I know.
And do you know what it means?
No, I don't.
Of course not, right? I mean, because nobody ever uses that word. I had to look it up.
I've used that, but it
means to be charitable.
Really?
Yeah, it's just another word for charitable organization or association.
Well-meaning and kindly.
What's that, Camo?
Well-meaning and kindly.
Yes. Yeah, look at him. He's just so fast on those fingers.
He's
not going to make another George Brown mistake today, I promise you that.
Everything.
He's Googling everything before he says it.
It's funny that if you were to ask me, I say, okay, for $1 million, what is the meaning of benevolent? I would have said the opposite of what it means. Because I swear I thought I've heard it used in that context before. Yeah. Benevolent. So if I've ever used the word benevolent, which I wouldn't have used, it probably would have been used as like, oh, I'm benevolent to it, like not caring about it. But it actually means
I'm benevolent.
you know, you're doing something kind.
What did you say the definition is, Cameron?
Well-meaning and kindly.
And kindly, okay. And then I remember, if you keep reading down, it talks about charitable. Yeah, so
serving it.
What the Benevolent Association does is an association put together by people because, and we'll get this more from the guys from Slow Fire next week. Sometimes, you know, when you give to Cal Fire, that money can go to Sacramento. You know what I mean? That Cal Fire is the entire state of California. The Benevolent Association is a local association that really takes care of firefighters, their families, and other people that are victims of fires right here in San Luis Obispo County. And so we're excited to be talking to these guys. I got into a quick little Zoom type meeting with them earlier this week with Suzanne. I got to meet a couple of the guys. They're really excited about this too. So I'm excited to have them on. One of the guys is a big fan of this day every year. He says it's a calendar listen for him, meaning he likes to tune in to see, I think a lot of people do, because we're going to play whatever. It doesn't even matter. I mean, we are just breaking every rule, in radio to do whatever it takes to raise money for this organization. Raise awareness about it too.
This is our benevolent,
because
cause.
we didn't even know it was here, let alone what the word means. So, get your playlist together. You know, if you get a song or two, it'd be great. It's a $20 donation for a song. You can do as many songs as you want. Like we said, this is really going to a great cause this year. We're excited about that. And I'm excited to hear some weird, crazy stuff and test us on that. Test us on, you know, how weird we can get. From, you know, old school TV themes to crazy music that most people have never heard of. And one thing we haven't talked about this year is the fact that, you know, if you're a local band and you want to get your stuff heard by thousands, this is a great way to do it.
Tens of thousands.
Didn't we have a guy year before last from Vegas that had a band and found out about this and he wanted everybody to listen? So
he said, hey, this is an opportunity. I don't know, maybe he listened online. I don't know how he found us, but he said, well, this is an opportunity for people to hear my music. So he threw out like 3 or 4 tracks, $80, called it a day.
Let's grab a couple of calls real quick. Hi, go ahead.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, hey, you guys were thinking about malevolent and ambivalent. Malevolent is kind of evil meaning, and ambivalent means you don't really care.
Yes, that's what I...
Benevolent means you're kind, like the Benevolent Protective Order of Elks and things like that.
Right. No, I that's exactly what ambivalent and benevolent are not interchangeable. I would have used them as if they were interchangeable because that's what my education brings to my cranium.
What is your name?
Right. I'm Scott, the vocabulary, traveling vocabulary guy.
Yeah, the vocabulary salesman. Now we have to pay him $5 for that. No, I mean, seriously, like, I'm like, I think I've heard that word before, but I'm like, I don't think I've ever used that word, let alone had to pronounce it. Benevolent. All right.
Have you ever heard of the BPOE, the Benevolent Protective Order of Elks?
No.
That's one of the reasons why I knew it quite well.
I would have not known what it meant. I knew that there were letters that meant something, but I had no idea.
So I'm guessing this has to do with the Elks Associate, the club?
Well, just...
Yeah, just the word benevolent, right. It just means kind if you have, you're kind-hearted.
You said the Protective Order of Benevolent Elks or something. Is that the Elks that people are members of?
Correct.
Yeah, so...
But the word has no tie into the Elks. I mean,
no, of course not. Okay. I know that. I know what the word means. We just talked about it. I'm just saying, but it's some weird, like Elks or some lodge or the Moose or some kind of organization that would use words like this.
Oh, yeah.
Because have you ever been to a chapter meeting? My parents are in the Elks, and it gets really weird. The big poo boss stands up there and drops words like benevolent left and right.
Does he wear a hat while doing so?
Yes, he does. It's actually antlers.
Is it antlers?
No, they don't wear a hat. It's not like the Flintstones. They don't wear...
No, it's antlers, right? These big elk antlers?
No, nobody wears antlers.
That was a joke. That's called...
Christmas party?
Hey, smart guy, that's called sarcasm. Look, tell us what that means, Mr. Vocabulary.
Christmas party, Cindy gets all crazy. She puts on the hat and a red nose, and she acts like she's Rudolph.
Thank you so much for the call. Just like all the other smart people out there, the jokes go right over their heads.
Well, the jokes aren't that good, so.
Well, nobody said they ever were, but it's still a joke. Of course,
The
they don't wear
problem
antlers.
is your serious to joke level is the ratio is like 20-1. So when you're telling a joke, people don't know because they always take you as serious.
Oh, really? I'm usually joking.
And the jokes aren't that good.
Well, that's your opinion.
I heard it. I was there. I was just there. Okay.
Mark it down a week from today. It starts at 6 a.m. We always love to get that big push started at 6 a.m. So we're hoping that we don't have to play anything from our current library, and we can go crazy and weird and deep, by the way. We can go as deep as you want. If you're a fan of Zeppelin, you want to hear some old school stuff that we don't normally play or never have played, then we'll probably play
Our
that
goal
for
is
you.
to go so deep that it puts your ass to sleep.
Subscribe to the Jeff and Jeremy podcast now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and YouTube. It's your Central Coast commute-friendly podcast.